Good morning all and welcome to our very first virtual e-cruising and Princess webinar session. My name is Emily and one of your e-cruising hosts for today. We are so honoured to see the interest we had with our registrations and incredibly excited to be able to share the most up-to-date information with you from Princess, as well as be able to share a little bit about us. Plus, we'll showcase you a few of our hot deals, an exclusive event offer just of those of you who are tuning in today. Whilst we would, of course, love to be able to share all of this with you in person, we are, in this ever-changing climate, we're looking at new ways to keep you engaged, our wonderful clients, and keep you informed via other channels. We have some very special guests with us today. We have Corey Edmondson, one of our senior cruise consultants at ecruising.travel, and Rachel Tyrrell, New South Wales and ACT State.
Good morning, everyone.
Princess. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
A little bit about us here at ecruising.travel. Our company began in the year 2000 by CEO and founder Brett Dudley, who pioneered the way to book a cruise holiday online. Brett tells a story to many that he meets. A lot of people were originally skeptical of his business venture and was told no one would want to book a cruise holiday online. Here we are, 21 years later, and stronger than ever. We are a team of specialists with over 120 years of combined travel experience. We have a dedicated team who are all well-traveled around the world and a group of avid cruisers giving personal experience to your inquiries. We have agreements with most major cruise lines, several airlines, ground operators, and hotels around the world, and offer a seamless travel experience. Cruise only or packaged holidays anywhere in the world. Our team are currently working full-time, and our typical inquiry turnaround time is within 24 hours from Monday to Friday. So you know that you'll be well looked after. Not only do all of your loyal cruise line memberships apply to your booking, but just one booking with eCruising will get you free membership to our Posh Club loyalty program, which gives you access to additional perks, events, and more. For further information on this, you can visit our website or chat to one of our lovely consultants in the office. We want you to feel confident when booking and dealing with a travel agent. And rest assured, you're in good hands with eCruising. I'd like to hand you over to Princess Guru Rachel Tyrrell.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. I'd like to make a special welcome to all of our Captain Circle members. Thank you for choosing Princess. We value your loyalty and support. So just a little bit about me. I've represented many of the Carnival Corporation's brands over the past 20 years, dedicated to Princess cruises for the last 8. I've cruised over 200 nights on Princess alone. I've celebrated many memorable milestones on ships, and I can't wait to step back on board again. I have a long association with eCruising, having looked after them for 2 decades as business development manager, and value them as a partner. So let's get started. Today, I would like to cover 4 key areas. Our new health protocols, MedallionClass, update on Book with Confidence, and finally, our new summer 22-23 program, including our round the world cruise for 23, and our new campaign, Twice as Nice. Now, Princess is one of the best known names in premium cruising, operating 14 modern cruise ships, soon to be 15, with the launch of Discovery Princess later in 2021. Some of you who may be joining us today may be new to the Princess family. So I'd like to start by sharing with you why you should consider Princess for your next cruise holiday. The top 2 reasons our guests choose Princess is the service from our crew and the food. Everything is prepared from scratch. It's your home away from home. Past packs, would you agree? Our clients believe quality is more important than price. They want value. However, there are some other benefits and experience on board which really set us apart. Our Captain Circle program has the best loyalty program at sea. And who can forget the free laundry? Australian currency, no tipping. We offer premium accommodation. We have award-winning chefs like Curtis Stone. We have exclusive partnerships with award-winning composer and lyricist Stephen Schwartz, award-winning shore excursions, and also offer military benefits and Carnival Corporation shareholder benefits, just to name a few. Now, two of the biggest questions currently around is the onboard experience. What will cruising look like when we restart? And how does Princess intend on implementing these new and improved health measures? It's important to note that our number one priority and responsibility is the health, well-being and safety of our guests, crew, and all the communities we visit, plus compliance and environmental protection. There's a lot of new information and data coming out all the time. The science around COVID has changed so much. So too has our course changed and may still change around onboard health protocols. But nonetheless, I'd like to give you some of our standards that we have currently in place. Now, I'd like to mention, I am not a medical expert or an epidemiologist. These protocols could change, and Ocean Medallion plays a critical role on our return to service. So there are 6 health and safety standards, and we've broken them down into pre-cruise, during your cruise, and whilst ashore. So let's take a look at the health screening, illness surveillance, and health education, which is obviously happens pre-cruise. Familiar to us in our current lives, many of these practices we already do and have done prior to the crisis. Guests and crew may be required to have a COVID test before boarding, health checks throughout the cruise, and contact tracing on board. Preventing COVID being brought on board our ships is the best remedy. Environmental sanitisation, more rigorous cleaning protocols more often and using guidance from CDC. Our current processes around staying on top of norovirus are extremely reliable and efficient. So we know the job can be done. It's just about adjusting those processes to meet the new requirements. Also during your cruise, the guest experience and how that will change. So buffets will remain open. We will serve you, and that will be the key difference. Also controlling movement of passengers, the size of groups, adjusting time and flow of passengers around the ship. Ocean Medallion will be our trump card in managing this. For example, in the main dining room, the times will now be staggered. Also, booking in via Ocean Medallion for a show in the Princess Theatre. There will be an increase in hand washing stations and hand sanitisation stations as well. We'll also be monitoring the way our crew and guests interact, again, leaning on Ocean Medallion because it has GPS device attached. Ultimately, cruising is built around the social context, and we don't want to detract from that, but there will be changes built around providing the safest and healthiest cruise environment. So it begs the question, will masks and vaccines be required? This is still yet to be determined here in Australia. If we use the UK as a guide for when cruising returns at the end of July, it's a UK government requirement for our return to service that all guests must be vaccinated and wear masks if they are unable to socially distance. Now looking at our healthcare on board, and this is an area where we really exceed. All of our staff require full registration with the UK General Medical Council, and they are the longest established health accreditation across the UK and Europe. All medical teams across the fleet are now fully trained in working with COVID, treating those infected on the ship, and we have drugs now available to help treat COVID-19. We are enhancing our medical centres so that we're better set up for best practices around infection control, introducing new critical care capabilities, improved on-the-spot COVID testing, and ongoing training for our crew. And finally, ventilation systems. We will enhance air distribution systems to improve the quality and flow of air, upgrading our ship's heating and ventilation and air conditioning. These HVAC systems are more advanced filters, removing a large portion of airborne particles. Air will be replaced throughout public spaces, staterooms more frequently, and we're adding HEPA filtration systems to key areas such as medical centres, isolation rooms, and these are currently used on aircrafts. Now on isolation rooms, another question that we often get asked, will we have quarantine cabins set aside? Nothing has been confirmed, but things are pointing in that direction. Likewise, people often ask us about capacity on board and will this be reduced? This is still to be determined. Now, looking at our partnerships with our local stakeholders, we are working with our communities in every place we visit to not only protect the communities, but protect our passengers and crew. Shore excursions will operate in full compliance with safety guidelines of local health authorities. We will remain on board protocols ashore. There may be a reduction in capacity of shore excursions and itinerary, and this may change, but it's about preventing COVID coming on board or being taken ashore. For the most up-to-date information, as I said, it could change, please visit our website and look for CruiseHealth. Now I'd like to turn your attention to our Book with Confidence program, giving you peace of mind. The main update here is that the book buy and travel dates have been extended. Guests may change their holiday plans up until departure date on bookings made on or before the 30th of June in 2021 for cruises departing up to December, 31st of December 21 for all Australian and New Zealand home port cruises. So if you need to change your plans for any reason, we're going to give you your money back as a future cruise credit. So even if you're inside final payment, as long as you make the change 30 days prior to sailing. So what if you're looking beyond this year and looking at January 22? This policy currently does not cover your booking. However, normal booking conditions apply. So you can simply cancel 6 months out or 181 days from departure and receive a full refund. There is absolutely no risk. So secure your booking with eCruising today. Speak to your eCruising consultant for more details on your land arrangements, which may be subject to other fees and charges. Now, I'm very excited to announce that we are committed that our entire global fleet will be Ocean Medallion enabled on our return to service. Ocean Medallion will be the best in class for customer experience. It's convenient, allows you to stay connected, it's personalised, whatever you want, delivered anytime. So this is what it looks like, and hopefully you can see on screen, and this is what you will receive. So a lanyard, as well as your cruise card in this nice little case. Now this replaces the cruise card, and you also may see one around my neck. So imagine on a formal night where you wanted to, wear something a little bit with a bit more bling, you can wear one of these, but I also have, like for our gents, they might want to have a little stick pin, hopefully you can see that, or we've got sort of Fitbit watch style little bands as well. Now these are additional charges, but you do get your free cruise card. Now, the Ocean Medallion, put simply, it replaces your cruise card. There's absolutely no charge. It's a wearable device, waterproof, heat, sand, and salt resistance. So if you lose it, we'll replace it. Also, if you lose it on board, you can pop down to the purser's desk and they'll actually tell you where you've left it. It's personalised with your name and it reflects your Captain's Circle status, just like the cruise card. You will receive one per cruise, and it's a really nice memento to take home. In 2017, when Ocean Medallion was launched, and while we paused in operation, there have been so many developments to make Ocean Medallion even better. So let's take a look. So the basics behind Ocean Medallion, and this is just a summary. So I'll start from clockwise order from the top. So Ocean Medallion will allow you to board the ship faster. We talk about curbside to poolside in under 10 minutes. It's true. All the paperwork, you've uploaded your picture, all of your details are done from home, from the MedallionClass app. You're already checked in before you arrive at the cruise terminal. So it's a case of dropping off your bags and away you go. Now, keyless entry. All you have to do is simply walk up to your door and it unlocks itself. No more fumbling for your cruise card, no more visits to guest services because your mobile phone has erased the data from your cruise card. All the friction points have been removed, and this is absolutely critical because we're trying to minimise surface contact points throughout your cruise. Find your way and shipmates. This is probably my favourite feature. You can find your shipmates and travel buddies around the ship. You can also tap in or out if you want some private time. You can find your way around the ship, locate the closest bar or the closest toilet, and how you get from point A to point B. This is what can be done through the MedallionClass app on your device or via one of the many touchscreen portals around the ship. Now, we also have playtime, so you can play games on the MedallionClass app, plus you can actually gamble and wager without even being in the casino. You can be sitting on your deck chair while striking it lucky in the virtual casino. If you're not a gambler, no worries, you can play a game against other passengers on your voyage and compete for the best score. We offer the best Wi-Fi at sea, and I can attest to this, FaceTiming my family on a recent cruise that I did, actually, when I say recent, 2019, on the Regal Princess. And it's blazing fast, land-like speeds, and it's all within the MedallionClass app. And its functionality is free. Book on our new PrincessPlus fare. Not only will you get unlimited Wi-Fi, so you can download or stream your latest movie or show that you're watching, but you'll also have the Premier Beverage package included for amazing value at about $40 per day. So whatever you need delivered, no more queues, let's bring the service to you. Be it a coffee or a muffin from the International Cafe delivered to your stateroom, or a pizza delivered out on deck, a round of drinks delivered to your spa. It's the Uber Eats at sea. Better yet, there's no additional charge for the delivery of the service. Now, the byproduct of this is that you can avoid gathering in large groups at bars and cafes and queuing while being served, and in line with safer cruising guidelines. So now let's have a look at some of the enhanced features that we are looking to introduce. So I've already mentioned touchless embarkation, but we are now bringing on staggered arrivals. From home, you'll be able to select your preferred arrival window for embarkation to avoid crowd congestion at the terminal and make the embarkation process even smoother, all within the MedallionClass app. We have new passenger safety drill protocols. We will be moving to a virtual platform by your TV stateroom or anywhere around the ship via your smartphone on the MedallionClass app. In your own time, you can check into your assigned muster on the day of embarkation, and once you've watched the safety video and listened to any announcements, you're okay to continue your holiday. The whole process goes from an hour on embark day to a 10-minute process. Not to mention, you're not surrounded by 600 guests, again, complying with physical distancing on board. And the health questionnaire. You'll be able to do your health questionnaire through the app pre-cruise. On board, if you're unwell one day, tell us you're unwell and we'll bring the doctor to you. Touchless payments. Now, this is where it can get a bit dangerous. You can shop with contactless payment. Be it in our designer boutiques or the Princess shop, simply use your MedallionClass like Tap and Go or PayWave to purchase your onboard gifts. Browse our retail range through the MedallionClass app and make payments through the app to arrange purchases to be sent to your stateroom as you sit on a pool deck sipping a cocktail. It's the eBay at sea. And real-time visibility into venue capacity. Make better informed decisions about venue capacity limits. Better yet, you can pre-book into activities, our nightly shows, restaurants, and events throughout the ship via the Medallion app, and be advised when an event is at maximum attendance. So stay tuned for more updates on this really exciting tool, Ocean Medallion. Now, I'd like to just show you a quick visual, and here's some images of what it will look like on board. So finding your way around the ship has never been easier. Just like at a shopping centre, when you're wanting to find your way, it will show you where to go from point A to point B. And there is also touchscreens throughout the ship. Now, as I said, this is one of my favourite features. Allows you to find your shipmates and send messages. So if you're travelling with your husband and you wanted to find out where on the ship he was, it will basically, a little photo of him, as you can see on the screen, will pop up to show where your shipmates are. And you can also send them messages, a bit like Messenger. It is so convenient. So convenient. As you approach your door, it will simply open, which you can see there. So if you were coming back to your cabin in the afternoon and you may be after a little nana nap or have some afternoon tea or simply watch a movie, the door as you approach will simply open. It is so convenient. And finally, some of these new features, whatever you want, delivered. So let's take a look. Whether it be towels, ice, beauty products from the spa, food and beverage, fast and convenient. One of the best new features is if you need to make contact with your cabin steward or guest services, you now will be able to simply message them. How convenient is that? No queuing at guest services. So now that we've covered the health and safety and Medallion Class, I'd now like to highlight the new program. This is our biggest program release with a full 12 months of cruises now on offer. We have so many opportunities for you to sail with Princess through the summer of 22 and 23, including our World Cruise for 23 on the Coral Princess. So let's take a look at the program. So cruising in our waters for summer of 22 and 23, we'll have 4 ships, 2 Royal Class ships, the Majestic Princess, the Royal Princess, Grand Princess, and Coral Princess. These ships represent nearly a third of our global fleet, highlighting the importance this market plays globally. The summer program will offer round-trip, one-way departures from Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide, and Auckland, New Zealand itineraries. We also do both round trip and open jaw. We will also have 2 circumnavigations from Australia, one of each of the summer at the end of the summer season, including stops in Cairns for Great Barrier Reef and new calls to Curie Bay for the Kimberley region. Northern Explorer itineraries from Brisbane and Perth are back. We also have Queensland up to the Great Barrier Reef, round trip voyages from Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. Tassie will also feature round trip from Sydney and Brisbane itineraries for 5 to 10 nights, and we'll be also visiting islands of the South Pacific, including Fiji, New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea, and voyages ranging from 11 to 14 days. We'll offer 4 trans-Pacific crossings connecting North America to Australia in the spring of 22 and autumn of 23 on Majestic and Grand Princess. There is also 2 35-night round trip Hawaii, Tahiti, South Pacific itineraries, round trip from Sydney, Brisbane and Auckland with departure options at the end of the season. And finally, we'll offer Asia and Australia voyages on Royal Princess sailing to and from Hong Kong and Sydney with stops along the way in Indonesia and Vietnam. So let's take a look at Majestic. So Majestic will return to Australia for her 3rd summer season in 22 and 23. She'll be homeported in Sydney, and she was launched in 2017, and she is a large ship, 143,000 tonnes, 3,500 guests. More modern Princess feel with venues like Hollywood Pool Club and our fabulous sea walk on the top deck, our glass bottom walkway extending out over the ocean. Medallion has 50% larger atrium, which is really the heart and soul of the ship, and there's a lot going on. Features award-winning luxury bed. It's like sleeping on a cloud. And also exciting dining and entertainment options available for you, like the Voice of the Ocean, and one of my favourite, the World Fresh Marketplace for casual dining. We also have culinary partnerships with specialty dining on board. We have our French restaurant called Le Mer, and we also have classic Cantonese dishes by Richard Chen, who had the first Chinese restaurant in North America to be awarded a Michelin star. So lots of choice on Majestic. Now moving on to the Royal Princess. Now for the first time, she will homeport in Sydney along with Majestic, and she is the flagship of our newest class of ships. And she was launched in 2013, you may recall, by the Duchess of Cambridge as her godmother. This ship has the best kids club centre out of the fleet. There are loads of outdoor spaces, forward, mid and aft pools, and also offers premium inventory. So there are no ocean view cabins on our Royal Class ships. One of my favourites is Chef's Table Lumiere. This is a must-do when on board. It's the ultimate in fine dining experience, taking you behind the scenes for a galley tour with the executive chef, with champagne and hors d'oeuvres, followed by a multi-course that is served with matching wines. These popular classics as well, we have Crooners, Bellini, Champagne Bar, and one of my favourites, Vine's Wine Bar, serving canapes in the evening. So if you enjoyed Majestic in past seasons, I know you're going to love the Royal Princess. Now, moving on to Grand Princess. Grand Princess will make her maiden debut season in Australia, home porting from Melbourne and Adelaide. This ship is the first of the Grand Class ship, and for our past passengers, very similar to Golden, Diamond and Sapphire, which have been in our waters on summers gone by. Grand Class ships have a very distinct look, layout and feel, and she was launched in 1998, 109,000 tonnes, 2,600 guests on board. Again, great for our market with loads of outdoor space. She even has a 9-hole mini golf course, including the famed movies Under the Stars, and also features princess classics like the Sanctuary, the Lotus Bar and the Wheelhouse Bar, a real favourite among our guests. And finally, the Coral Princess. She will be home porting from Brisbane, however, will offer a number of sailings from Perth throughout the summer, and she is the dedicated ship for our World Cruise programs in 22 and 23. Now, she's a mid-sized ship, 90,000 tonnes, just under 2,000 guests on board, and she definitely offers a small ship feel, but big ship experience. More venues, more space, less people, especially when you compare to our Sun Class ships. Now, these ships were purpose-built for scenic cruising with a focus on exterior cabins. In fact, when compared to our Sun Class ships, she has twice the number of suite beds available, nearly 6 times the number of mini suites, and 40% more balcony cabins available. And she also features the Bayou Cafe and Steakhouse, featuring New Orleans-inspired Cajun and Creole cuisine, and a must-try is the chicken chorizo jambalaya, and also features Sabatini. If you love Italian food, it is a must. Now, moving on to the main event for the program. I'm really excited to share the details of our 22-23 Epic World Cruise voyage, which is almost a carbon copy of what we intended to operate this year, and we all know what happened. All in all, the return voyage is 107 nights from either Sydney, Brisbane, or Auckland. There is also a variety of segments and liner if you can't spare 3.5 months. The full voyage will travel over 32,500 nautical miles with calls to 44 destinations across 26 countries, sailing to Australia obviously, Australia, Asia, Arabia, the Mediterranean, Greenland, Canada, the Americas, and the Pacific. There are 9 late night calls, including Dubai, Aqaba for Petra in Jordan, Barcelona, Lisbon, Belfast, Cork in Ireland, London for Dover, Reykjavik in Iceland, Quebec City, Papeete, and Auckland. We also have 3 overnights for Dubai, New York, and Lima, and 6 maiden World Cruise ports: Elba in Italy, Marseille for France, Malaga in Spain, Tangier for Morocco, Belfast for Northern Ireland, and Invergordon for Scotland, and access over 20 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Early booking benefits for guests booking before the 30th of November, and we're offering up to $4,000 per stateroom early booking benefits for our Captain Circle members. Now, our current campaign, Twice as Nice, and it's on sale until 31 May, and it features all of our 22 and 23 program, which you can see here. Now, the program basically offers up to $200 onboard credit per stateroom for inside and outside, or double for balcony and above. Now, for all of our past guests for balcony and above, we can get up to $600 onboard credit on selected voyages. Now, our 22-23 Australia and Asia brochure will be available, so please reach out to your e-cruising consultant in the coming weeks to receive your copy. Now, if you are looking at the Twice as Nice campaign, and you may notice that we launched a new pricing structure, and you now have the option to choose your fare type when making a cruise booking. You can either select Princess Saver, which is our lowest standard fare without any extras, or you can go Princess Plus with drinks and Wi-Fi included. Now, Princess Plus is our most popular among our guests, and it provides them with the best value. For as little as $40 a day, you can receive our premier beverage package and unlimited Wi-Fi. Now, that's great value. And finally, I want to leave you with this image. They say a picture paints 1,000 words. Well, in this case, 4 small words: we will be back. I love this image. This is Sky Princess leaving Singapore in March of last year. How our worlds and lives have changed since then. There are positive signs from the UK with a restart at the end of July. And last week, CDC announced that they were committed to a North America return to cruising for their summer. On the home front, with vaccine rollout underway, very low locally acquired cases of COVID, and people slowly getting back to normal. This is fantastic news for cruising. We will be back. I'm sure a restart for Australia is just around the corner. In the meantime, stay safe, and I look forward to the day when we can get back on the high seas exploring our wonderful world again. I would now like to hand over to Corey Edmondson to talk to you about some of the fantastic deals ecruising has on offer for you today. Over to you, Corey. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. That was fantastic. It's great to hear about the medallion class. That's really going to change cruising moving forward. So, hi everybody. I'm Corey. I've been back at ecruising for nearly 1.5 years. I actually worked here over 10 years ago, left and went off and did some other different things in travel, being coach touring and specialising in different areas. But I always knew I'd come back to cruising, and of course, if I was going to, come back to ecruising. So it's lovely to be here, and it's great to see so many familiar names that I spoke to 10 plus years ago that are still booking through ecruising. So thank you so much for your support throughout this time. And on that note, let's take a look at some of our cruises. So firstly, with the travel bubble now open, kia ora to New Zealand. So you've probably seen some of my blogs. If not, you may know, if you have, you may know that I love New Zealand. Now, this particular package is 13 nights on Royal Princess, which Rachel just touched on, Sydney round trip. So it's a really great itinerary. Now, this one departs next year on 29 December. So just after Christmas, but that means you're going to have New Year's away, and you'll actually arrive on the 1st of January. You'll be cruising through Fiordland National Park in New Zealand, which is a pretty nice way to start the year. It also has some amazing ports. So 2 of the ports that I most love would be Christchurch, which is an amazing walkable city. So it was devastated by an earthquake in 2011, and you'll still actually see some buildings that still have damage from that. So they're still rebuilding, but it's a beautiful city, and they've had some really great new additions and restaurant areas. So amazing there. It also stops in Auckland, which is the city of sails, and that's a fantastic place to do some wine tours, and you're actually there till 8 p.m. So it's a nice late departure. Now, you'll see on the screen the pricing is from $195 per person per day, but if you wanted to upgrade to the Princess Plus fare, which includes the beverages and Wi-Fi, that's only an extra $37 per person per day, which is pretty much a bargain. And then we'll move on to our next package. So this is a South Pacific adventure. So with this one, it's Coral Princess. So as Rachel mentioned, it's part of the cruise that does the ship that does the world cruise, but it also has some fantastic sailings here. So this particular one departs for 35 nights from Sydney round trip. It's a beautiful itinerary, and what I love about this particular itinerary is you actually have 5 sea days going towards Hawaii, so that's between Samoa and Hawaii, and then on the way back you do 5 days at sea from Hawaii to Tahiti. And what I love about that is you will actually be able to explore the ship. So the ship is a destination in itself, and a lot of the time if you've got a port intensive itinerary, you're not going to really explore the ship and get to see all the shows. So this particular itinerary is really going to allow you to get everything out of the ship, plus you've got the amazing destinations. So Hawaii, once again, another one of my favorite places. Probably my favorite island is Kauai, and there I was lucky enough to do a helicopter ride over the Nepali coastline. But another really popular trip is going and seeing Jurassic Park, where that was filmed, which is absolutely gorgeous. So must on that. On the Big Island, I'd have to say that the best shore excursion you could probably do is to visit Volcano National Park. So obviously lava flow is maybe, it depends on when you go or where you're seeing, but it is pretty amazing to see the live lava flowing if you do get the chance. Also, this one pops into New Zealand on the way home. So as I mentioned, love New Zealand. So you get to go to Auckland and Bay of Islands on this particular one. Once again, the pricing on screen is for the saver fare, but if you wanted to upgrade to the Princess Plus fare, it only adds on an extra $43 per person per day. And it really, once again, it's a fantastic inclusion. So for a more close to home sailing, we have our Northern Explorer. So the Northern Explorer is a really great way to see the top end. It departs from Perth and finishes in Sydney. It also visits Kuri Bay in the Kimberley, which Rach mentioned a bit earlier, which is a fantastic place for photos. It's absolutely gorgeous. One of the things to note on this trip is it is all Australian ports, so you won't actually require a passport, but it does mean that you're not going to be able to do any duty-free shopping as it doesn't go out of international waters. This one also does have an 11-hour stay in Broome, so fantastic amount of time to really get to explore Broome, which is a really, really beautiful city. Now, Rachel touched briefly on the World Cruise earlier, but I'd just like to give you a few ideas of what we offer. So people want longer cruises, and we've found that so much, and so many of the World Cruises have sold out. 2022 did really well, but 2023 still has spaces available and is a fantastic itinerary. Now, with ecruising, we add on some extra inclusions. So we have 4 free day tours, so one in Komodo Island, one in Aqaba, one in Reykjavik, one in Quebec. We also include a dinner at the amazing Italian restaurant Sabatini's. With Princess, you receive $1,000 up to $1,000 onboard credit per person from Princess. However, ecruising actually adds up to a further $1,500 per person onboard spending money. So that just depends on what category you're booking and the availability. You'll also get additional savings of up to $400 per person with the e-cruising package. And of course, I can see that most of you have cruised with Princess before. So of course you'll get your Captain Circle guest discount. So that's a further $1,000 per person discount, which is a really great deal. With this one, you can, of course, also upgrade from the Saver fare to a Princess Plus fare, and it only adds on about $40 per person per day, which is a pretty good deal once again, especially for 107 days. Of course, all of the prices that I have mentioned and the inclusions and so on are subject to change in availability, but at the moment it does have these 4 cruises do have plenty of availability. So just get in touch with us and we'd be happy to help cost those up. Also, I'd just like to quickly touch on the Princess Plus again, but Rach obviously touched on this briefly, but I'd just like to give you an example of how much value it can include. So you might think, okay, I don't want to pay an extra $40 per person per day. because I don't drink alcohol. Well, or you don't drink much. Well, it really does add up, because just say you had a smoothie in the morning, then a coffee, you might have a cheeky lunchtime cocktail, maybe 2 glasses of wine at dinner, and we're already over $40, and you haven't even logged on and bragged about your experience on Facebook yet. So it really is great value. And even if you don't use that every day, if you think about it, the package that you would purchase on board for the drinks and for the Wi-Fi is so much more expensive. So even if you aren't using it every day or using it to the value of $40, which, to be honest, isn't that hard, it's a really great deal. Now, I'd also like to note that while these packages I mentioned currently are all cruise only, we can always make a package for you. We can always add flights, we can always add accommodation, and we can always add transfers, tours, whatever you need. We've got fantastic relationships with all of our suppliers, and we can really package it to whatever you need. So if you want a one-off package, we can do it. Now, that's pretty much all from me. So I hope I haven't bored you too much or given you too much information. So I'm going to hand back over to Em for some of our exclusive deals.
Thank you, Corey. If we can just jump back to our exclusive offer really quickly, we just want to highlight that. So for joining today, we would love to thank you all for coming and joining. We'd like to offer you a 1-week sale. So that's reduced deposits up to $100 bonus onboard credit. So those packages, those trips that we looked at earlier, that's on top of that 200 OBC. So plenty of value there for you to thank you for joining. We know we haven't been cruising for over 12 months now, so many of you may be holding a future cruise credit or perhaps a future cruise deposit that you may not have been able to use yet for future travel. These are applicable to most voyages, and our team are more than willing to assist you through this process as well. We have over 2,000 Princess voyages to choose from on our website. We know this can get a little overwhelming, so get in touch with us and we can find the perfect cruise for you. Moving on to our Q&A, if we have any questions that have come through during the presentation, thank you to all of those who have been engaging with us on our Facebook page. We did have a few that were pre-registered that came to you earlier. So let's see what we've got.
Okay, so I might answer that one, Em.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, I guess if there's 2 people in the cabin, you need to decide whether you want to go plus or saver. As Corey already alluded to, it's not just about alcohol, it's the other beverages that you may purchase. So, but if you really have one person that's not going to drink anything, my advice would be that you would go saver, and the other person that wants the beverage package would book that on board. But when you look at the value, the drinks package alone is going to be $87 on board. So to me, it makes better sense to both get the plus, where you get the beverage package, and the Wi-Fi. But obviously, it's personal choice.
Do you have to pay for the Wi-Fi access to use the
onboard? No, not at all. So
no?
Any functionality relating to Ocean Medallion, it's all part of the Ocean Medallion experience. But obviously, if you want to download your, a movie or your latest Netflix series or whatever the case may be, obviously you would use your Wi-Fi for that. And as said, it's lightning fast, so it's really worthwhile. And as Corey mentioned, you want to brag on Facebook or, send any videos or upload anything, of your amazing cruise holiday. Yeah, obviously you're going to need to have the Wi-Fi, which is unlimited. Cabin type. Well, I would say as a premium cruise line Princess, most of our guests would go for balcony and above. And a few years ago, and really with the introduction of Royal Princess, we actually removed ocean views. So there will always be those guests that are after, the cheapest bottom inside cabin. And that's okay if that's how you choose to cruise. But majority of our customers and feedback, customers would go for definitely balcony and above. In fact, out of Australia, mini suites are very popular, particularly on some of our longer voyages. Again, people see value in upgrading to the mini suite so that you've got the separate seating area, the separate toilet, etc. So again, personal choice, but yeah, I would say balcony or above.
Personally, I know I'm a balcony cruiser. There's nothing beats getting home, I think, after a big day and a glass of bubbles, putting your feet up and looking out at the ocean. Similar to the picture we've got here, you know, you can't beat that when you're out at sea.
Or having dinner in your balcony, like that's
it's really special.
Yeah. Well, we do offer that as well. Yes. But the best time to book, well, my advice is if you see something, I have for those of you who know me, see it like it, buy it. If there's an itinerary that you know that you want to cruise on, you have the confidence to book with us, obviously with our Book with Confidence, if anything should change. But there's never been a better time, particularly this program went on sale early March, and we had record booking days. So I know there are some departures already that have sold out. So don't delay. I would definitely encourage you to book as soon as you can. Favorite ship? Ooh.
This is hard. How do you choose?
This is a tricky one for me. You know what? I've had so many amazing experiences with Princess, but probably a real highlight would be my honeymoon on Pacific Princess. Pacific Princess, obviously our small ship, she was beautiful, and yeah, I just loved the size, the feel, the ambience on board. But yeah, I think really for me, and as I said at the start, the memorable milestones, you know, my husband proposed to me on a ship. You know, I've been, you know, had my honeymoon on board a ship, you know, all these amazing experiences. So it's hard to say a favourite, but I'll go with Pacific Princess. Any other questions out there?
I think that pretty well. Oh, there we go. Favorite Princess shore tour. Well, my favorite was the standout for me was the eco boat safari that I did out of Port Arthur. So we hosted our annual Posh Club cruise on Majestic Princess 2019. Rach, we had was our host for the trip. And you jump out on around the Tassie coast out of Port Arthur. We had it's a wilderness cruise, so you go out looking for seals. We saw an albatross. We even got a penguin sighting. Some of the most spectacular cliffs along the Tassie coast, even the Australian coast. So that's definitely, you guys can book that through Princess. Massive highlight for me. Absolutely loved it. Rach, have you got a favourite?
Oh gosh, off the top of my head, pressure. I would say any of the walking tours in Europe that we do, you know, kind of meet the local grower, walking through the food markets. I'm a foodie, so I would say those kind of experiences are what generally attracts me. That's probably one of my favourites. You know, gosh, put me on the spot here, but too many to mention. There was another question that popped up that I was going to mention something. Best tip for first-time cruisers. Don't pack too much and make sure you take a rug.
And if you need anything, you can buy it on board.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll wrap up our Q&A now. If we have any further questions, feel free to shoot those through to your consultants. Our webinar sessions will be part of a series with Princess, so please stay tuned for our future webinars. If you haven't already, please sign up to our weekly newsletter. We keep you up to date with industry news, hot deals, and cruise line promotions. For those that registered via our website, you will receive a follow-up email detailing the promotion offer we've discussed today, and the products mentioned in today's session as well. Our team are ready and waiting for all of you, so please contact us. Our number's up on our screen here, 1300 369 848, and our support email, support@ecruising.travel. Thank you once again for joining us. Thank you so much, ladies. Corey and Rach. It was so lovely to have you and be a part of this with you. And to those behind the scenes who made today happen as well. Thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks so much. Bye for now.
Thanks everyone. Have a great day.